I do a lot of videos concerning aeration of ponds in fish farming. So on today's video, we'll be answering questions that a lot of viewers have asked me concerning aeration of ponds in fish farming. If you look through the videos I've been posting on this channel, lots of them has to do with aeration of fish ponds. So a lot of questions I've gotten concerning aeration of fish ponds, and I would want to address some of these questions. About 10 of them, 10 questions will be addressing in the course of this video. I want you to take note of point 6, especially question number 6. Watch to the end of this video so you can have an answer to it. A lot of people particularly ask something regarding that question 6, so watch till the end. I'll be going straight up to answering question number 1. I'll be reading through my phone to get those questions, and then I'll be answering them. So the first question is, what is aerators itself? Aeration of pond, what is it? Aeration of ponds has to do with increasing the oxygen level in the water in your fish pond. Of course, oxygen is needed for fishes to survive. Just like we humans, we need oxygen to survive. Also, the same thing with fishes. They need dissolved oxygen. The oxygen that has been dissolved in water, they need more of it so that they can survive, so that they can thrive well, so that they can live healthy, just like humans too. So they need oxygen, and this is what an aerator does. It helps to increase the oxygen level in your water so that your fishes can thrive well. I hope I've answered that. Now let's go over to question number 2 that people ask. Let me go through it right here. The question number 2 says that, how do I know if my pond needs an aerator? How do I know if my pond needs an aerator? One major sign that you use to know that your fishes in your water needs aerators or needs oxygenation. Please remember, in the course of this video, I'll be interchanging these words: aeration, aerators, oxygenation, need aeration. They all mean the same thing. When I say your water needs oxygenation or your water needs aeration, I mean the same thing. We are still talking of the same thing. So how do I know that my fishes need oxygenation or need aeration? One way you would know is that your fishes will be gasping for air. They will be standing upright, gasping for air from above. Their heads will be right above the water, trying to take oxygen from the air above, because the oxygen level in the water is no longer there for them. It's no longer available. They've exhausted it. Some people will say, but water has oxygen now. Should be the chemical compound for water is H2O. So there's oxygen there. Yes, there's oxygen in water. But when your fishes are in that water, they tend to exhaust that oxygen. So you need more of it to give them so that they can survive well. So we'll be heading over to question number 3 now. Question number 3 is, how many hours should I run my aerator? Do I necessarily need to run it 24 hours in a day? Do I need to run my aerator for 24 hours? The answer is no. You don't need to run your aerator for 24 hours. Between 4 to 5 hours of pond aeration is okay for a day. I repeat it again. 4 to 5 hours of pond aeration is okay in a day. You need to focus on the particular time that aeration of pond is much more needed. So that leads us to question number 4 that a lot of people ask, which is, when should I run aerators in my fish pond? And the answer is that the best time, or the time when you should run or put on your aerator, is the time when the oxygen level is lowest. And what are this period of time? It's usually at the night time and also in the early hours of the morning. So just like I said, 4 to 5 hours of pond aeration is okay for the day. So in the morning, you can run it for, say, around 2 hours. And then in the night, you can also run it for around 3 hours, making a total of 5 hours in a day. So the best time to run your aerator is when the oxygen level of water is lowest, and that is in the early hours of the morning and also late at night. So let's move over to question number 5. Can aeration of pond help reduce fish mortality? Yes. So yes, of course, it will help reduce mortality in your fish, because of course when there is no enough oxygen for your fishes to survive or to live with, then what will happen? They will die. So but if you have added enough oxygenation in your water, you have increased the dissolved oxygen level in your water, then your fishes will do well, they'll thrive well, they'll live well, they won't die easily. So of course, yes, aeration of pond helps to reduce the mortality of your fishes. Heading now to point six. This point six is very important, like I said earlier, because a lot of people see this point six as the only reason why they want to get aeration or aerators for their fish pond. That's the main reason why a lot of people want to get aerator. And this is the question. The question is, will aeration of my pond help reduce the frequency at which I change my pond water? They want to know if with the use of aerators, they will be able to reduce the number of times that they change water in their pond. You know that normally as a fish farmer, you're expected to change the water in your pond, particularly for those who are using concrete ponds, tarpaulin ponds, and other artificial ponds. They usually change the water in their pond. So they ask, if I'm using an aerator, would I be able to reduce the number of times I change my water? Yes. But doesn't mean that you will not change your water at all if you are using an aerator, because a lot of people also ask that question. Like, if I'm using an aerator, does it mean I will not change? I can just leave my fishes like that for a long time. I will not change the water? No, but it will always definitely reduce the frequency at which you change your water. If in a week you usually change your water 3 times, if you are using an aerator in that pond, you would only change your water, say, 2 times. I hope you understand that. So it will reduce the number of times that you change your water. So you can see that's one advantage, especially for those who want to cut down costs based on electricity, having to pump water, to change water. With an aerator, it will reduce the number of times you would have to change the water in your pond. So that's a very good one at point 6. Also, point 7 is also very important. Question 7 says, I'm using an earthen pond. Do I need to use aerator in an earthen pond? Please, I want you to take notes. For those who are new to this channel, if you've not watched previous videos, please go and watch a previous video where I talked about different types of ponds that are used in fish farming. So if you are new, please watch that video so that you can understand what I mean by an earthen pond. And for those OGs, old-time farmers who already know what an earthen pond is, the question is, can they use aerators in an earthen pond because they feel that the earthen pond is already a natural habitat, the fishes are living in a kind of natural environment already? Do they need aerators there? Yes, aerator is needed in any type of fish pond. Particularly if you are using an earthen pond that you don't have a steady inflow and outflow of water around you. Say your earthen pond is not located in a place where a river passes or flows through, flows in and flows out, because of course some people deliberately put their earthen pond in such an environment where a river nearby flows in and flows out of that earthen pond. But if you don't have such earthen pond, where your earthen pond is stagnant, it's just dug in on the ground, no river or any flow in and flow out of water around, then you need to use an aerator in such a pond. So aeration of pond is needed for any type of fish pond that you have, earthen pond inclusive. So like I said, in the course of this video, if you have not subscribed, please subscribe. And if you've not watched some previous videos that we have discussed about aerators and how it's being used, I will advise you to go through those videos so that you can better understand the concept of aerators even after watching this particular one. And also, after I have discussed these particular 10 questions that people ask, if there are more questions you have, please leave it in the comment section so that we can use it as another video to answer your question. I can even answer your questions in the comment section. So leave some of those questions that you have in the comment section, still concerning aerators, so that I can answer them for you. Remember, we are on question number 7, right? Question number 7. Now we are going to question number 8. Question number 8 says, where should I place the aerator in my pond? Again, if you have not watched some of the previous videos of practical demonstrations of the use of aerators, that I have done on this channel, please go through and watch them again. This will give you an insight of how an aerator works and how it can be set up and used. Particularly for aerators, where should it be placed? Like this question number 8, where should it be placed? Depends on the type of aerator. If you're using an aerator that uses air stones, the air stones should be placed in the middle of your pond so that the aeration will be evenly distributed around the pond. It won't be advisable for you to put it at an extreme corner, while the other extreme of the pond would not get enough oxygen because you left it at just one corner. But if you put it in the middle, then the aeration, oxygenation will be evenly distributed in that particular pond. So the middle position is the best place to put your aerator. It depends on the type of aerator. There's some aerators that you would have to, the entire aerator is what you would put inside the pond. So you would put that one in the middle. And for the types that you would use air stones, the air stones should be put in the middle for even distribution of the oxygen. Let's move over to question number 9. Question number 9 says, how many aerators do I need for my pond? This would depend on the size of your pond and the type of fish you are raising. That's what it will depend on. It depends on the volume of your water, the volume of water you have in your pond. Most times on the package of the aerator that you would purchase, you'll see something like flow rates or pressure rates is always written there in liters per minute or in liters per hour. That would help you to be able to do a calculation of how many of such aerators you will need to get for the volume of water that you have. Say for instance, you have a 1 liter tank, and that 1 liter tank, you have 5 of it. That means you have 5,000 liters of water that you want to aerate. So how many aerators of such aerators would you need to get for it to be enough to oxygenate those 5,000 liters of water that you have? So if you need a calculation, but possibly we'll do another video on this, how to be able to check an aerator, check the liters per hour, and be able to convert it to know how many volume of water it can aerate. Leave a comment below if you want me to do a video concerning that so that we can get the calculation completely. But have it in mind that you can always look through your aerator that you're purchasing. The manufacturer usually writes that water pressure volume that you can aerate per liters per minute or liters per hour is always written there. But if you need a separate video on that, please write in the comment section so that we can work on that also. And then finally, number 10 question. The last question says, I hear different names like air compressor, air blower, oxygenator, air pump. Do these all refer to aerators? Yes, they all refer to the same thing. I said it earlier. When I'm using certain names interchangeably, I mean the same thing. So when you want to make a purchase of an aerator, some can call it an aerator, you can call it an air compressor, you can call it an air blower, you can call it an air pump. You can see everything has air in it. So that's the work. So if you use any of these names, it's very, very fine. Any of this name means the same thing, means you need something to put oxygen into your water for your fishies to thrive well. So we have come to the end of this video. If you have other questions concerning aerators, please leave it in the comments so that we can address that also. And if you have not subscribed at this point, please subscribe to this channel and click the like button so that we will be gingered to do more videos. You know what I mean? Thank you so much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.